Want to create Thinset out of Grout? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create Thinset using Grout so you can have it in the color of your choice. And I'm also going to show you how to use the baggie system when using Thinset. And for those people in Australia, Thinset here in Australia is called cement-based adhesive. Anyway, let's get into it, and I'm going to show you that right now. These are the two Laticrete products I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Laticrete Permacolour Grout and Laticrete Admix. Now, this is not how the packages are packaged. I buy these from a company here in Australia, and I'll put their link down in the information section of this video. And they repackage them into smaller quantities, which makes it a lot easier. Now, up on screen now is the packaging of what it would look like coming from Laticrete. And the first one is the Permacolour Grout. And the next one is the actual Admix. And as you can see, it's in quite a large container. So by breaking the container down into smaller quantities, it makes it a lot easier and more cost effective. Now, the advantage to using these two products is that this Permacolour Grout comes in 40 different colours. And that allows you then to have Thinset in the colour of your choice, so that when you adhere the Thinset down with the tessera, if it squeezes up in between into the grout lines, it doesn't really matter because your grouting is going to be in the same colour as this. So if it gets up between the lines, you don't have to dig it out. Like if you're using the white Thinset, well then that would have to be dug out because you can't have the white coming up between the grout lines with no room for the grout. With this way, it doesn't really matter because it's the same colour. So when combining both these together, these products, it creates Thinset. When you are grouting, you use this same colour, but you mix it with water and you grout it normally. So essentially, the Permacolour Grout is doing two things. You're using it to create the Thinset with your Admix, and then when it comes to grouting, you're mixing it with water only. So it's doing two jobs on your mosaic. Now, when it comes to knowing the colour that you want to use, you have to choose it when you choose your tessera. And that's the right way of choosing a grout colour, because if you leave it to the end once your mosaic is finished, then you have an awful time trying to choose what grout colour is going to work with your mosaic. So choosing your grout colour when you choose your tessera will make it easier for you when you have finished your mosaic. And so what we'll do now is we'll mix these two products together, and I'll show you the consistency, how I like to use my Thinset. Right, ready to go. Now, one important thing is you need to wear an P2 or an N95 mask, and they're probably a little hard to come by at the moment. But I'm doing this outside, and the breeze is blowing that way, as you saw the cup blow over, so I don't have to worry about breathing in the silica. But I do wear a mask whenever I'm handling mixing grout. Okay, so we'll put some grout into here. I'll put 3 in. Okay, hope that doesn't fall over. So we zip this up, and I always do this straight away. Squeeze out a bit of the excess air. And then we shake this. Got to shake it well, although I did before, but I'll just reshake it. And then we tip some of this in. And it's a bit of a guessing game. If you don't have enough, you add more, and if you have too much, you add more of the Permacolour Grout. And then we mix this. Just take our time. So we really don't want the silica to come up out of the container. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to leave this for around 5 minutes to let it slake. Now, slaking is the process of allowing it to do its chemical reaction. If you don't slake it, you risk the chance of it not being a strong adhesive. And if you're grouting with water, then you need to make sure you let that slake for the chemical reaction to occur. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, we'll let that sit and we'll come back. All right, I'm just going to give this another stir. And what we're going to do is pipe it into this little Ziploc baggie. So we just see how that's holding on quite well now. So we just put it in there. Now I do fold this down a couple of times, and that's because if I get Thinset on the edge there, it's not going to affect the actual Ziploc, so just keep that in mind. Because Thinset is very sticky and very messy. It's great, but it is all that and more. So put it in there. Okay. So like I say, you can see why you want to fold that bag down a couple of times, because you get Thinset on the edge there, and if you get it on the edge of the actual Ziploc, the bag won't do up. And all we do, put that over there so it doesn't blow away, all we do is just fold that up. Sit down a few times, start the Ziploc. Squeeze out a bit of the air, do the Ziploc right up, and then what we'll do is we'll fold this over and sticky tape it down, and we'll go do that now in the studio. Okay, I've got the bag of Thinset, pair of scissors, and some sticky tape. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to fold this over, squeezing down the Thinset to the bottom. We're going to keep folding it over. And then when we get to about there, or wherever it starts to really firm up, I'm going to get some sticky tape. And it is very sticky. And I'm just going to stick it down like that, just to keep it together. And then all I'm going to do is cut off the corner here, just small, because you can enlarge it. And that will allow us to actually squeeze the Thinset out like that. Now what we're going to do is I've got my little piece of timber here that's got a primer on it, and all I'm going to do now, you can do this two ways. You can either put it onto the tessera, whoops, this way, and put down, or you can put it on the actual board and then push that down. Now what you're going to do here is just push it down into a bed of Thinset. You don't squash it right down to the board itself. It needs to sit in a bed of Thinset. So you need some Thinset under the tile so that it grabs and holds. When I'm doing this, and I've got this size tile, I kind of tend to put it on the tile and then squeeze it down. Now let's exaggerate this, shall we? Let's put, I'll use this colour. Let's put a whole heap down. And we'll put it here. Now, see how the Thinset, I don't know whether you can see that, but see how it's squashing up between the lines? If that comes up higher, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be grouting in black. So that works really well because if I'll try and do another one. I'll put a whole heap here. Move that away, put it there. There you go. See how it's squashed up there? That's a better view for you. Now, all I have to do is now wipe that off, and what I'm going to be left with is black, which is the Thinset. So if I'm grouting, it's going to be the same colour, and because I'm using the Permacolour grout, it's going to be the same colour as that Thinset, which means I don't have to worry about it. If that was white Thinset and it came up between the lines, between the grout lines, there wouldn't be enough room for black grout. So I would have to dig out that Thinset or remove the tile and redo it. Whereas this way, all I have to do is just wipe it over, and I haven't got my gloves on, is just wipe it over and it's the same colour as the grout. So it makes it so easy and a lot less cleaning up than if you would just use white Thinset. So I find that works really, really well. There's another one there, we'll put some on there. And there you go. Again, you just squeeze it down. But see how I'm not getting Thinset anywhere. The baggie system is the best system to use for Thinset. I hope you've taken something away from this. I hope it's cleared up a few things for those people that were not sure how to use Permacolour grout and Laticrete Admix. And I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy.